If she were alive today, Emily Dickinson would be chronically online, and her poetry reflects that, both in its form and in the imagined relationship between speaker slash content creator and audience. I'm nobody. Who are you? Are you nobody too? Then there's a pair of us. Don't tell. They'd advertise, you know? How dreary to be somebody. How public, like a frog, to tell one's name the livelong June to an admiring bog. The two things that strike me are, first, the poet and the audience are on a level of equality. They're both nobody. And it's not just a power equality, it's like literally they're the same. Literally, she is me, in the same way that influencers I follow literally he or she or they are me. The second thing is this imagining of the relationship between content creator and audience as one of complicity, where the rest of the world is sort of the enemy. The rest of the world is the bog. They'll advertise, they'll blow our secret. What you and I have here is something intimate, something between us. The other similarity I notice is a really rigid form paired with a very casual presentation. Like, you almost don't notice that this poem rhymes or that it's in a very strict meter. It's in kind of ballad meter, which is sort of hymn meter, like Dickinson would have sung it in church. A lot of her poems are written this way. It's 8 syllables, 6 syllables, 8 syllables, 6 syllables, and then these sort of uniform stanzas keep repeating. I mean, she spices it up sometimes. Sometimes she'll add or subtract an extra syllable, or she'll sort of move the stress pattern around so it's not quite as monotonous as like da 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 da. But overall, she's just writing these same kind of stanza over and over again, which are really rigid and strict. And the rhymes are also pretty rigid and strict. When you watch a lot of influencer content, like say Get Ready With Me video, those are really hard to do. There's a lot of boxes you have to check. There's a certain way you have to talk, a certain way you have to sit, a certain way you have to present each product you're using on your face. But at the same time, you have to appear as if you're totally casual, you're totally not trying, you're totally unaware, you're totally conversational. And to me, there's something similar about like the way Emily Dickinson must have really worked to fit her thoughts into this 8 syllable, 6 syllable, 8 syllable, 6 syllable form, and the way that content creators I see every day really have to work to fit their thoughts into whatever meme or whatever sort of content niche they're working on. And I think as an audience who knows the lingo, knows the lore, we love seeing people meet and kind of bend and break these different rules. Like, Emily Dickinson was not much published in her time, but shortly after her death, she sort of got more popular. And I think part of the appeal, which in many ways you don't quite have in the modern day, was like the fact that people were familiar with this poetic form, these ballads, which, I mean, there's a lot of like children's rhymes that's also in these. And so like you read them and you see this woman doing something crazy with like this thing that it feels like pretty normy and like, rigid and, not in a way, not very creative at all. Like, of course, other people have done great ballad form poetry, but what she does is so wacky, with like all the dashes and all like the conversational vibe of it. And it really makes me think that, she's ahead of her time in so many ways. And like Emily Dickinson is goated because, if you look at poetry today, like nobody's like done that since. Nobody's done her thing. But I think maybe the closest we've gotten is sort of influencer culture and the internet, and maybe just Tumblr overall.